Here we start with some sets of 4 words. Try this set. Food, hoot, foot, who. Again. 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 Food, hoot, foot, who. Last time. Food, hoot, foot, who. Okay, food that you eat. Hoot, noise, foot, and your leg. Who'd, who would, or who had. Especially for the Japanese, the problem of F versus H before U. Any problems there? Food, all right for everybody. Hoot. T and D, notice the prefortis clipping of hoot compared with food. Foot, short vowel. Food, well, difficult to identify what it is. It's this contracted form. Who got it? That's a did question. If I say, who got it? That's a had question. Who had got it? Who got it, past tense of get, did. Is this a did or a had question? Who got it? Had. Who got it? Did. Who got it? Did. Who got it? Had. So it can tell you about the tense. It's complicated. What? Word. What? 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 Word. What? What? So wad is pad of something. Word, you know. Wart, something on your skin. What? Question word. Juice. Use. Use. Jews. Juice. Use. Use. Jews. This is one especially for speakers of Spanish and Swedish. Juice. Use. Use. Jews. Juice. Second one is use, the noun. What's the use of doing it? C is use, the verb, to use something. Also the plural of those nouns, you. And D is Jews, plural of Jew. There is an ongoing sound change, as we have mentioned, whereby D is becoming J. So that gives us another kind of juice, what would be deuce in more conservative pronunciation. And actually, it would give 2 further spellings for D as well, otherwise dews. Non-standard English sometimes has a special plural of you. You people, you guys, you lot, which is use. That's not standard English. Any queries about that?
Yes. Well, in my case, I put C my vowel, Y sound, in case of number A, right after J sound.
Merci.
Yes.
Okay, you've got an extra semi-vowel. Yes. So we've got the sequence
That's right.
like that. Well, it isn't juice, it's juice. And, you know, there is no difference at all in pronunciation between choose and choose. Even though the spelling suggests this difference, they're both of them pronounced choose. I don't think really you can have that, at least not within one word. So,
Thank you.
yeah, I mean, you know, there is a bit of a transition inevitably after a part to alveolar.
Okay.
Good. Anything else? Ovistatal. 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 How many syllables? 4. Ovistatal. Where's the stress? On the first syllable. Ovistatal. Ovistatal. The vowels are strong, weak, strong, weak. Ovistatal. That L is meant to have its syllabicity mark underneath it, as before. Ovistatal. First vowel, O, all right? V, all right? O-V. State, okay? Syllabic L, atal, lateral release from T to L, statal. All perfect. Marvellous. Ah, question. No, oh good, yes, well done. Any queries? Too easy. Too easy, too easy. Let's try another one then. Waga Hyleb. 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 Waga, first part. Any problems? Long vowel it was, yes. Waga. Waga. Can't hear?
Cat and heart are difficult.
You had that one? That one?
Yes.
Okay. The old vowel numbers are 5 and 10. We don't really use those. I call this the strut vowels against the start vowels. Okay, that would be wagga, wagga, wagga. There is a duration difference here. Mine was wagga, wagga, wagga. Yours is wagga, 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 wagga. Before passing through the airport security gate, 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 always be sure, always be sure, always be sure, always be sure, always be sure to carry 4 pairs of keys, 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 to carry 4 pairs of keys. Now let's see if we can sort of work a little bit on the intonation pattern and so on. First of all, make sure you've divided the material into groups, intonation groups, word groups. the first bit was before passing through the airport security gate. I'm helpfully pausing between the groups, so there should be two groups there, vertical line between them. Always be sure to carry 4 pairs of keys. And now within each group, select one syllable as the nuclear syllable. Where is the nucleus? Try and decide which syllable it is. Before passing through the airport security gate, always be sure to carry 4 pairs of keys and underline the nucleus to show which it is. Attach a nuclear tone to each nucleus. Before passing through the airport security gate, always be sure to carry 4 pairs of keys. See if we can identify all of the other stressed syllables. Before passing through the airport security gates, always be sure to carry 4 pairs of keys. Decide whether they also have pitch prominence and are therefore accented. If they do, you'll need to decide what kind of head we have. Before passing through the airport security gate, always be sure to carry 4 pairs of keys. What do you have to do? Always be sure, always have a strong vowel in ways, sometimes it gets weakened to always. Always big happy vowel, be sure. Conservative pronunciation, sure. There's a newer pronunciation, sure. Sure. Falling head and full rise. Always be sure to carry 4 pairs of keys. Again, low free head with a stress in it. High head on 4, stress on pairs of, but a high 4 on keys. Always be sure to carry 4 pairs of keys. This is, by the way, a joke. Of course, if you carry 4 pairs of keys, you will set off the alarm at the airport. This is from a humorous bit of writing. Good. Any queries there? "15 different coins. 15 different coins. 15 different coins. A corkscrew. A corkscrew. A corkscrew. A corkscrew. What's a corkscrew for? Opening a bottle. Yes, a corkscrew. A lighter. A lighter. A lighter. A lighter. 2 discarded ring pulls. 2 discarded ring pulls. 2 discarded ring pulls. 2 discarded ring pulls. A ring pull is the old kind of thing you had for a can of drink. Nowadays you just push it in, but previously you had to pull a ring. 2 discarded ring pulls. A metal dog whistle. 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 A metal dog whistle, a metal dog whistle, and 3 small spoons, 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 distributed about your person. 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 15 different coins, a corkscrew, a lighter, 2 discarded ring pulls. Now, a number of points there. Vowels and consonants first of all. We've got here an example of assimilation. In the case of the word different, which normally ends, of course, in NT. Alveolar is different. But because the next word begins with a vela of coins, we have the choice of assimilating it to the vela place, as I did when I said different coins. Different coins. Without assimilation, it would be different coins. Different coins. But I said different coins. Doesn't matter as far as the meaning is concerned. It's something for you to listen carefully to. Why is the word 15 stressed 15 here? Anybody know the answer? Why did I say 15 different and not 15 different? This phenomenon is known as stress shift. Okay, stress shift, many common words, including the teen numbers, double-stressed words, tend to shift their stress if they're followed by another stressed syllable, as in diff. So 15 different coins, a corkscrew, no rise, a lighter, 2 discarded ring pulls. Anything else in the vowels and consonants? Okay. Stress and intonation. Here we have, first of all, a nucleus on coins, with a low rise, coins. Before that there was a high stepping head. 15 different coins. A corkscrew, low rise again. This is typical listing intonation. When you have a list of items, we have rises until we get to the end, which hasn't come yet. Rises or 4 rises. A lighter, 4 rise. A lighter. 2 discarded ring pulls, another 4 rise, ring pulls. And here, as you would expect, the accented syllables before are falling, so we have so-called sliding heads, compound head. 2 discarded ring pulls. Yes? Yes.
So why is it changed in
Well, because it's just a matter of variety. Although you can use low rises all the time, it gets boring. In the non-final position, you can either use a low rise or a 4 rise, and it doesn't really matter. And anybody who's talking interestingly will switch from one to the other. We do this in conversation too. We use 4 rises when we haven't got to the end. And I might say, luckily, today I'm going to talk about this. I gave you luckily, low rise, today, 4 rise, I'm going to do this, 4. But I could have said, luckily, today, I'm going to talk about this. Luckily, 4 rise, today, low rise. And really, it doesn't matter. But if you want to sound interesting, you mustn't do the same thing over and over again. So that's all I'm illustrating here. Let's continue. Ring pulls. A metal dog whistle. A metal dog whistle. A metal high-head dog whistle. Compound noun. Nucleus on the dog. Low rise. Stress on the whistle. Continuing the compound noun. Tone continues upwards. A metal dog whistle. The syllabicity mark is again meant to be under the L of metal. A metal dog whistle and the L of whistle. And 3 small spoons. Here's the end of the list. 4. Low 4. And 3 small spoons. Stepping head. Low 4. And 3 small spoons. And a phrase which is in apposition with this, which describes the spoons and everything else. Distributed about your person, with a fall again. Low fall on person. Distributed about your person. The verbs distribute and contribute are sometimes pronounced with a different stress pattern. Some people say to distribute and to contribute. So you must just listen and hear which is said. I use the more conservative pattern, distribute. Distributed about your assimilation there, coalescent assimilation, about plus your, giving about your optional. We could equally well have had about your, but I gave you about your person. Yeah, well, that's it. Is this very difficult or is it very easy? Difficult, yes. What can I do to make it easier? I am rather throwing you in at the deep end. I'm giving you natural intonation, which means we're exploiting all of the possibilities. I think the best thing is this combination. So you have stages, introducing thing one at a time, but you also have the whole range of possibilities to see what it's like. Yeah. Is there anything you'd like me to compare and to contrast?
For me, it was whistle.
Which word are you talking about? Whistle? Dog whistle? Well, I'm afraid it's always a whistle. That's whistling. And it's not pronounced whistle, and it can't be pronounced whistle. Sorry. Well, with a sh, special. Whistle. Whistle is right, whistle is wrong. Is this right or wrong? Whistle, wrong. Whistle, right. Good, well that's very interesting. Any other points?
They were different before.
Yeah. I cannot divide it after N, which is voiced. So different people, different things, we cannot lose that T. So that's why that's not a possible pronunciation. Obviously it's easy to confuse these things. If we can just take a little exercise about that, if we compare send them and sent them, consider which of these consonants can be elided. Send them, sent them. Can you elide that D? Yes. D and ND clusters agreeing in voicing. So we can readily say, I'll send them. Can you elide this T? No, because this disagrees in voicing. What you could do is make it glottal, but we must have a moment of silence. Sent them, sent them. That moment of silence marks the past tense. Sent them. Compare send them. Send them, send them, send them. Present. Sent them, sent them, sent them. Past. Is this present or past? Sent them. Past. Send them. Present. Send them. Present. Sent them. Past. That's it. So this is a crucial distinction.
Excuse me, may I use zero stress, three, or small parts?
In which word?
And three.
Okay.
No, small, and about you.
Well, I think what I did, I said 3 small spoons. I gave it pitch prominence. I stepped down. So because there's a change of pitch, we say it's accented and we mark it with this mark. If I said 3 small spoons, which I could have done, keeping the same pitch, then you would have written a little circle. Okay, they're both entirely possible, but that's the difference. It's very hot, isn't it? I think perhaps we'll stop there for now to give you a break before the lecture at 3 o'clock. There's a choice of lectures at 3 o'clock if you wish to go. Okay.